Okay, let's see if I can get you some help on this thing here. Let's see. Okay, let's go get going. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Let's go to tools. What's going on? Tools. Oh, okay, I'm in a command. Go to tools, go to ring rail, just grab a ring rail, hit enter. Now I'm going to draw some curves out. I'm going to change this layer here so I know what it is. I'm just going to snap to that quad there. I'm going to type in 2.5, hit enter, hold down shift, draw that out. I'm going to right click, bring back that command, and then snap to that end there and just kind of drag it up. Basically, these just let me know that that's 2.5 millimeters out. So if my shank is around that area is kind of what my goal is, right? And then I'll go in transform menu and mirror that onto the other side so I can kind of see. So I got about 2.5 millimeters here, 2.5, there's my ring belt, right? Now let's see, let's just go ahead and grab a gem at this point. And we'll switch that up to a marquee, and make that a little larger. Really, it doesn't matter. The gem size doesn't matter because we can manipulate everything after. So I'm just going to go ahead and enter. We want the offset curve. That's what we really want. And then hit enter. And then I'm going to delete the gem. We don't really need it. Now it's good to kind of go ahead and get it as close to shape as you want it from here, because once we move it into place, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but not impossible. So we'll just go ahead and say that's the size we want. And I think it angles a little bit. Let me see. Let me go check something here real quick. Go here. I'm on my other screen here. Um, let's see. We want here. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. Yeah, it kind of looks like it's angling out, right? So I just opened up Facebook and the other screen so I could see the image as I'm kind of working on it. And it kind of looks like it angles out like that, right? So let's drag it kind of where we want it type thing. It's hard to kind of really tell exactly because it's at a weird angle. Something like that perhaps, and maybe a little bit larger, and maybe a little bit thinner perhaps, just a little bit. Something like that maybe a little bit. Because this kind of comes in and this kind of, okay. Okay, so we'll make it a little larger and turn it over just a little. Maybe something like that, right? It's I hope that's pretty close, but you can play around with that. This part's not as important what's coming up. So and then you can continue to keep playing around with for quite a while. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and go to our curves, and we'll just grab an arc direction, arc extension, and let's see, it kind of goes in and then it swirls way out, something like that, right? So something like this, and then what we'll do is we'll take this and turn on our points right here, and then we can still manipulate it around a little bit so it's got a little bit more arc to it, maybe. And you can keep playing around with that, something like this perhaps. You know, all different ways to mess around with it, right? So what we're going to do is just go ahead and take that curve there, and we're going to offset it. And I have it set at 2.5. I don't know what those are, so I'm just going to say 2.5 is good to go. Now at this point, let's change these to yellow so we keep everything kind of organized here. And I'll grab me a line here, and I'll just kind of grab there and go to that point right there, right? And then I'm just going to select all this and then trim some of this away. So get rid of this, and get rid of that. And then I'll hit enter. Now we'll come over and kind of do the same thing. We'll grab that line here and we'll kind of go over to this one here. And we'll select all this here, and we'll do a little trimming. Make sure we only want to trim what we don't want. And we'll say that's good right there. And actually, that's not going to matter because I think we're going to make it straight anyway eventually. But not for our top. So let's go ahead, take that little piece there, this little piece, and this little piece, and that. And let's just go ahead at this point, hold down Alt on our arrow there and drag it up. I'm not sure how high it goes. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know, something like that perhaps, maybe. Looks kind of thin there in the top. I don't want to make it too thin though. So we got something like this going on, right? We have our upper and I didn't grab that curve. That's all right. We'll just grab another one and we'll just snap it to the, let's make sure I get it to the end. We don't need these. From here to there. And let's change that to yellow. She's all yellow. There. There. And one more there. Okay. I thought I turned those to yellow, but I didn't. Must have been the last video. All right, so we have this going on, all right? At this point, it's probably better just to go ahead and do this right here, the marquee part. So let's go ahead and do a surface, and let's just do a profile sweep, and then bring those down. We get a nice little mess going on. Let's bring that up, and let's turn off that seam, and it gives us a nice little straight surface, right? I have mine set up so the pink is it's supposed to be the inside, green supposed to be the outside. So right now my direction's messed up, but it's no big deal. And we got a nice flat surface, so we'll go ahead and hit enter. And as I said, we can manipulate this now continually from this point. So what we want to do is kind of move this one around to get it to where we want it in our area so that it matches up, I guess. So I'm going to go to move first and select move. And then I'm going to select that little point there. And then I'm going to go to that point there, right? So it kind of brings it in, right? We got some overlapping, and we do. So let's go ahead and click on this and select that again. And let's drop this down a little, see if it, yeah, there we go, get rid of it. And you can, yeah, you can keep manipulating it to get the shape or the connection that you're wanting. But we'll just go ahead and say that's good. We just did not want that overlapping. That would not have been good. So now what we can do is still go in here and manipulate things. So right now it's kind of going way in there, right? So I'm going to go to my arc direction here. I'm going to go from here, that point to that point, and I'm just going to drag it. Let's go to our top view. Out something like, I don't know, something like this. Okay. So it gives it a little bit more shape, and we have no overlapping, so we should be okay. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to grab this little thing here and hold down shift and grab this one, and we'll just turn on our points, right? And we'll select the we don't want this. We'll select those points so all three arrows turn on white, and we'll just snap it right there to that, and we'll hit enter. All right. Yeah, and I'll get rid of those points by hitting escape twice. And at this point, I'm going to take my green there for my guidelines because I think we're pretty well inside, and change those to gray in case I need to bring them back out again. All right, so I'm going to change to layer to red here real quick, and we're going to go back to our curves and grab a line curve, and we'll just snap to that point to this one, right click, bring it back, keep snapping to these points, the top points here, the ends, and this one you want to be a little bit careful. I'm going to turn off my green here, and I want to go to that point there. This one here, I'm also going to go in and rebuild, R-E-B-U-I-L-D, because it looked like it had a little bit more curve to it. So I'm going to 3 points, degree 2, and then hit enter. And then when I turn on my points, I should have one right there in the middle. Click on it and kind of just bring it back a little bit. So it's something like that, right? And then escape twice to get rid of those points. Now I'm going to go back to my surface. We're going to use the old surface too. We'll grab this one, this one, this one, and this one, and hit enter, and we'll hit OK. And now I'll switch that. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I guess I can, doesn't matter. Right click, bring it back. First row, second row, this red one here, and then the red one over here, and hit enter, enter. Right click, bring it back again. This one here, this one here, this red one here, and this one here, not that one. Hold down Alt, get rid of that one, select this one, hit enter, so it gives us that little swarby in. And then actually, let's take those red there. Let's take this red, and turn them to this color. And activate that as our color there. All right, and now we want to get that sweep back one more. This red here, this red here, this white, or this yellow and this yellow, enter. And then hopefully our last one would be this one here, this one here, this one, and this one. Okay, yeah, all right. So now we should be able to take all that, join it together. Looks like it all joined. Yeah, and we'll take that, we'll CAP. So it should cap that, and we CAP one more time on this side, and it should have capped that, but it did not. So cap did not cap, so something's gone crazy. So let's hide this one, get that out of the way. Oh, okay, well, that'll do it. This and join. And now we should be able to CAP. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have a closed poly surface, and we have a closed poly surface, and they are connecting down in there, right? But it's kind of crazy right now. All right, so now what we're going to do, so we need them solid because of the next step, which is a wire cut. So we're going to type in WIRECUT, hit enter. We're going to grab that ring rail. And then I'll hit enter, and then select our objects, these and this, and then hit enter, drag that out, click, and then just get rid of that and get rid of that, and now we have that surface there. Cool, huh? And it kind of goes right in, kind of looks like it. I mean, you know, this is just the fastest way. There's other ways you can get in there and manipulate that edge to do a lot of different, you know, maybe puff it out more or do a lot more with it. But it's a lot more complicated and takes a little bit more time. But that's that, right? So now we have to get our rest of our shape together. So we're going to go ahead and take all yellow and get rid of them. We'll go ahead and take all red and change them to gray too. So we'll just deal with this here. Now what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and hold down Shift Control, select this section, and this section, and I'm just going to delete them, right? Okay. Oh, before I do that, that's not good. Before I do that, I have this section as a solid, and I have this section as a solid, right? So what I want to do is go and Boolean union them. So do this one and this one, and then hit enter. So we have this, we'll get rid of it, and we have that one, and we'll get rid of it, and we have the one that's joined together. Now we'll go in, hold down Shift Control, and I think it's, yeah, Shift Control, grab that one, grab that one, grab that one, and delete it. Now, see, you can see we got rid of that little section right in there, so it's not two different surfaces, it's all one surface, right? And we have a nice little cutout in there. What we can do now is go to curves, go all the way down to our from object, and we can just duplicate this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge, and not that one in the center there. And then over here, this one, this one, this one, this one, and hit enter and join. 9 curves go joined into 2 closed curves. Okay. This we don't need anymore right here, so we're gonna go ahead and hide it as well. And it looks like we're out there at our 2 point something, right? And we have this. I'm not sure. It looks like it goes straight. We'll talk about that in a second. So we have those curves out there, right? We have this one and we have this one over here. I'll change those to yellow. And we have our ring rail. So you can put another profile down in here if you want to change this shape up or whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it, but you can add a profile there to make it sweep into that if you wanted to. I'm just going to go back to my surface and do a sweep one actually. And I'm going to select my rail, select this profile, hit enter, and it automatically gives me my seams because we actually made those because we duped the line, so we would have had to gone back in there and change the seam location anyway. So there we go. And there's that. And so you can take this and you can take this and you can join them together, creating mesh. Oh, okay, maybe it's done. It's done. And we have an open poly surface, it says. What did I miss? All right, well, let's check it out. Analyze, tools, show edges, and the one right there in the middle, it looks like. And we have only 2, so those should be really easy to fix. So we'll just fix them instead of go back and redo everything. We'll just join 2 naked edges, right? And we'll just select on that one and select it again, and there it goes. So now we have a closed poly surface. Yeah, and there you go. Now it's just a matter of if you wanted to, let's go ahead and take all that yellow and turn it to a different color. If you wanted to, you could try go in here and just selecting, well, first let's go to solids and go to fillet. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Select edges, and we'll just say 0.2 and just hit enter and give it some time. There's a lot of edges there. It's going to try and fix for us. Preview, yes. And looks like it's done. So I'll hit enter again. And we'll check it, and it says we have an open poly surface. So let's go back and see if it's going to be something that we can fix very easily. Analyze. And we have 13 naked edges all right over in here, this mess here. Yeah, probably not a good idea to do that boolean then. Not unless you want to, the fillet. You could go back and go to your solids and do some of them. I wouldn't do them all, right? Like we tried. So we can do these top edges here. Maybe these edges here, these edges here. The ones going around here. That edge right in there was what was giving us the issue. So let's just see if we can bypass that. This one and that one. You could do them individually slowly too. I'm just trying to, let's try this one here. All right, so let's see. Let's get this one. All right, so let's give this a go and see what it does. And we'll just go ahead, hit enter, and see what it does. I think we'll probably have an issue like right in this corner again, but it should be an easy fix. So let's go ahead and check it. Open poly surface, miscellaneous, or analyze. show edge, and we have 16 again, right in there, and up in there. Okay, well, you know, like I said, it's you can do some of them or whatever. Probably to do it slower, probably not to, you know, that way you can find out what's going to work for you, what's not. I know these will work. This should probably work here, and that's probably a good one to do. This one, this one. Well, let's get rid of that one. Maybe that one's not. Let's back out of that one, and we'll back out of this one. Let's just go ahead and try these here and see what they do for us. Close poly surface, still good. Okay, so let's try this one here. Enter, enter. Close poly surface, still good. Let's try this one, and enter, enter. Open poly surface, probably, yeah, right there. So let's back out of that one. Let's try doing these three at the same time. Right click, this one, and this one. Yeah, and then enter, enter. Close poly. See, it really is kind of depends on what your what ones you pick. Yeah, see, I wouldn't mess with that one. That one might cause some issues, but this one should not. Oop. Right click. I'm spending too much time. Sorry. Enter. So you can kind of mess around with it, right? The last thing you know to do is just flow your gems in there, and that's real simple. I'm sure you already know how to do it, but I'll just go ahead and play. We'll just our angle, our point, we'll set it in 0.5. Did I move it? Extract iso. Let's edit that. See where it's at. 0.51. So I'll just type in a 0.5. And we'll hit enter. And then we'll go ahead and select that curve, grab our gems on rail, and we'll bring them around and pick our surface so that it locks them into our surface, and we'll kind of move those kind of there, move those kind of there, and we'll drop them down to our table, hit enter. And we'll select those gems, and we'll go to our cutters and go to from rounded to flat, and we want to bump these out this way a little, and we want to make it a little wider, right? And then we can turn on our wireframe, and we can kind of placement, move it up a little bit depending on where you want it, how deep and everything. And that looks okay, so we'll go ahead and hit enter, switch it back to our, go to our solids, go to Boolean difference. This will be our first surface, enter, and there we go. There's our gemstones, and enter, and we'll just get rid of the surface, select our surface there, or our gemstones rather, go to settings, go to prongs, and you can manipulate those a little bit, you know, height offset, just maybe a little bit up. Enter. Go ahead and select your cutters if you wanted to. If you wanted to put cutters in them, you don't want them very deep though. I wouldn't go through all the way through. Just hit enter, and then go back to that Boolean difference. This surface enter, this surface enter, enter, and we should have little cutouts for them. Yeah. Okay. And now the last thing, you know, let's go ahead and get rid of all these curves here. Turn off this. And we'll come down here and take a look at it. You know, it's got a nice little indentation in there. It's going around. You can, you know, it depends on how you lay it out, of course. And like I said, you can manipulate that area. If you didn't like that kind of a design there, you could bring this back. It'll change it all up, and you can do all kind of things. But the last thing Really, we got a nice even shank. It's not bulging out on either side, so that's good. Uh, the last thing would be is, I'm not sure. It looks like it might be flat there. I can't really tell. Uh, but if it's flat, you can always just, make a cutter. You could try box cutter. Go to your solids, just get a box, and then you don't need it down there at the bottom. Let's see. Let's start over here and kind of hold down shift, kind of something like that, and then draw our box out there, right? And now you don't want it in that cutting that other edge, right? But you definitely need to have that edge covered. And we need to drag it up in place. The best way to drag it up in place would be basically turn back on that ring rail. Go ahead and hide your green at this point. Go to that move command. Go to that move, and select this. Hit enter, and then just snap it up there on that part there, right? And you have it there, but you can manipulate it. It'll stay out. Let's see. We want to there. You can go to your transform. You go to taper. Taper this edge here. Oh, it's not in that direction. Let's see. We don't want to make it smaller. Let's back out so I know that I didn't do anything. So actually, we can just now go to taper. Taper this, and then we can turn on this handle here. That'll do this side, but this should keep it. There we go. And it's not touching our other ring, right? But it is right in there centered, so it should be okay. And then we'll just get rid of this box here. Go back to our solids, do a Boolean difference from this surface here to this surface here, enter, and then enter again. And there you go. I don't know if that's flat or, how that really, it's kind of difficult to see for sure. But there you go. And everything is a closed poly surface, and you should be able to print it up okay. Yeah. Not too bad. And we'll just go to ray traced here. Go open up our render studio. Let's go to, since we're in ray trace, we can activate our denoiser from our Rhino panel there. So we can select all our green, all our purple, and we can go to our render metals, right? And then apply that. And then we can select all our gemstones and go to our render gems and apply that. And we can go to our ground plane, give it some shiny black or something. So we get a little, yeah, it's activated. Okay. And there you go. I mean, I don't know if it looks like this edge might come around a little bit more, but that's all just minor manipulation. The main thing is how to design it from there, right? And let's see. This is kind of the image that we're going for. Looks like it comes around just a little bit more, maybe a little bit more U-shaped with the cutout. But that's just making this a little bit smaller and then manipulating this a little bit, so it should be able to come out okay, hopefully. But hopefully that'll give you a little idea, maybe real quick, how to do it and clean it up and everything. All right. So thanks a lot, and good designing.